I haven't decided if I prefer Back to the Future 3 to the first part, but definitely I prefer it to the second part. I do truly adore this film. So the third part was released in 1990, quite quickly after the second one, and also after the first one. It's unusual for film sequels to be released in such quick succession, and I don't know if that was maybe overkill, but certainly when I watched them basically back to back, and I managed to have a sustained interest all the way through. So this one was released 1990, directed again by Robert Zemeckis, starring, as always, Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd as Marty McFly and Doc Brown, respectively. And there's something about this one that I think is so thrilling. So the description from IMDb is as follows. Stranded in 1955, Marty McFly learns about the death of Doc Brown in 1885 and must travel back in time to save him. With no fuel readily available for the DeLorean, the two must figure how to escape the Old West before Emmett is murdered. Emmett being Doc Brown. And that's just thrilling. So the thing I love about this is that it's instantly a very different atmosphere because we are going back to the West in 1885. And straight away, obviously, the set designs are different. The costumes are different and beautiful. They're so gorgeous. The music is different. The scenery is different. It feels like a fresh perspective, because the second one, I discussed this when I reviewed the second film, it's quite similar to the first one in theme, in style, a little bit darker, but still very similar. But this third one takes us to a completely different place, and in turn it feels very different, while still retaining that beauty that the first two films have. It's still very interesting. It has the perfect blend of, comedy and drama and, adventure, and it's very unpredictable. Because Doc Brown is such a lovable, likeable character, we obviously don't want him to get murdered, and we want the best for him, and we need them to save this problem. There are also other problems of the West that they encounter as well. So it's not quite as intense as the second film, where it was all about trying to not adjust Marty's future and the future of his family. This one is very much about, basically trying to stop Emmett from dying, and it's, it's intense. It's very nail-biting, and I think the pacing is brilliant. From start to finish, you will kind of be hooked. It's hard to look away from it. I think this one out of them all is the most intense, the most captivating, visually the most beautiful. I think with this third one, they've ended on a high. I'd love to see Back to the Future Part 4. I don't know what they'd do with it, but I think it would be a pretty exciting journey, and were that ever possible, that would be pretty amazing. But I'm very happy with Back to the Future Part 3. I truly adore it. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. But if you haven't seen any of the films, start with the first, watch the second, then watch the third. I know it sounds like I'm stating the obvious, but the second is a bit of a weak link. But for me, Back to the Future is a brilliant series. And the third one, is it my favourite? Do I love it more than the first? I think I do. Either way, it is fantastic.